Hello, everyone. My name is Annalise Harris, and I'm the founder of Curls on the Block. I have a quick message for you, and here Hey, curl friends. This is Annalise Harris, founder of Curls on the Block, and I am going to be talking with an artist about a recent event that really has been in happening for many centuries, and that is essentially stealing Black art and culture, obviously, within that as well, and the impact it has on the Black community and the impact on Black art as a whole. Like, what happens when our art is stolen, or the term, and other folks take what we make and make a profit and leave the Black artist out to dry. So I, as usual, like to start off a conversation with a little bit of history, just in case you're unfamiliar with this topic. So today is Black art versus big corporations. And I'm going to share my screen and share just a quick visual I made that highlights just a couple of things that have happened in the past. So Black art versus big corporations. And this is a Black conversation and Black experience in the arts industry. We have today with us a special guest and artist. How are we going to address the fact that Black art is stolen and replicated all the time? And how are we actually going to, as a community, work together to address this and ensure artists are respected and appreciated? We also hear from an artist who has had a personal experience recently with her art stolen. We all know of the Jenner Kardashian clan and their impact in the world of beauty as well as business. So when it comes to making money, we know they are a great model to consider. And however, it is important to also recognize that even great business folks are making decisions that are based on possibly influences from other artists, right? And so, I'm not exactly sure where a particular case ended, but previously, way in 2017, if you can remember way back then, there was an issue of Kylie Jenner and Khloe Kardashian being accused of stealing ideas from independent Black designers. And as you know, they make money, the Kardashians and Jenners make money off of clothing and other product lines and for their target audience. So in this particular case, Khloe Kardashian had been under scrutiny and accusations about this practice of requesting or buying one item from an independent Black designer and then replicating it later with just a few tweaks. And there's, with a platform of millions of followers, the impact that could have for that particular artist really is phenomenal. However, by omitting credit or, giving credit where it's due, the Black artist is left to keep creating, but watching other folks make millions off of their designs. And so when it comes to, you know, artists and business, there is a need to make sure that Black art is respected and compensated for. We could even see some collaborations that have happened, you know, with even Beyonce. Beyonce had a line of her own, right? Ivy Park was independent. She was running it. But now I think there's some benefit that can happen for a greater reach with Black art and also fashion in this case. But Black art being connected to bigger brands, but also making sure those Black artists are recognized and lifted up. So there's also some experience with Black art, which is historical, where basically, you know, in the 1800s, troops would, you know, ravish and raid different cities and take different items, right? And they were thieves, essentially taking something from a community and culture and that wasn't theirs. And later, right, centuries later now, we see them in museums. There is an effort actually now to return African art and artifacts and to the rightful communities. There's also some talks that have been happening about leasing these pieces to the rightful community. And so we're seeing some small efforts towards reparations, not completely, but some work being done to rectify the harm and damage of pillaging Black communities, African communities, and then benefiting from that same art centuries later. And also what we know happens is, you know, taking over these people's homes and at the same time devaluing their culture, but then making money off of saying, here's what's left. So it's definitely something that we've seen in our current history and recent history, and as well as things that have actually been happening for centuries. Again, it's not new, unfortunately, and it is very tiresome for us as a community to definitely see other people make money off of our ideas and what is pumping through our veins, and we're left to question why we aren't making money, why we can't get out of poverty, or why our product or idea didn't go further. But we're really fighting decades worth, centuries worth rather, of intentional devaluation and thievery, essentially. Today, I have an opportunity to bring you Art by Rizzo. This particular image was on Facebook, and it was a friend of this artist posting, sharing some images with the artist that even my dog's mad. My dog's mad about the art being stolen. Anyway, this artist had posted some artwork online, and lo and behold, a little bit later, sees the artwork being sold at a box retail company, a major retail company that did not reach out to them at all. So I am going to bring them on here and be able to hear straight from the artist. So can you, first of all, thank you so much for your time. And I love your background. First of all, I want to shout that out. And it's just a halo, as sunflowers are beautiful, right? And I just appreciate your connection with Girls on the Block. I do want to just acknowledge that we have worked together in the past. That's why I even know of this issue, right? And your artwork is so dope. I've loved it since I've seen it. And you know, you held Paint and Sip. It was what, for kids? It was 2 years ago for a curly weekend, and the people who participated did enjoy themselves. And we definitely going to have to talk about connecting again, because everything's virtual and now we can do even more now and send the little activity kits. But before we get into that, I would love for you to just introduce yourself and be able to share a little bit about your background, because not only are you sharing your talent with the world, you also have been doing some major work in the Black community and standing up for the against police violence in Colorado Springs.
Yes.
And so I just definitely want to be able to provide you this platform to share what you've been up to.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you. I do want to shout you out really quick because like instant connection since like the first day I saw you. I think I was vending at a Denver. I can't even remember what festival it was, but it was
Yeah.
just like,
Oh, Aurora. It was Aurora.
okay,
I
it was
just
the Aurora
remember.
Arts Festival. Yeah. And I was just like, she's so cool. I didn't have any rhyme or reason. I was just like, this is a vibe, and it's been years. So I appreciate your consistent support and just being like a great person and doing great things as well for the community, for our girlfriends, etc. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
But yeah, my name is Jeresneyka. People call me Jerry or Rizzo. I am an artist and community advocate. I'm originally from Brooklyn, but I'm a military brat. That's how I ended up in Colorado Springs. I don't have an like elaborate art story. I've always liked art, especially as a kid. When I was 24 or 25, I had some like easels and stuff and canvas and paint in my closet. When I was moving, I found it and I was like, let me just paint. And literally the rest is history. It was so bizarre. I was just like, I like this. This is fun. This is cool. I wasn't great at it. I didn't have great technique, but I really just worked at it. I'm self-taught. I watched all the YouTube videos. Shout out to the internet for free game. And then if I didn't know how to do anything, I would just figure it out. And it's grown. And that kind of ties into I've moved around a lot. I've lived in like LA, Houston, Chicago, and I genuinely just love people. I love Black culture. I just love getting to know different things, and that's what inspires me. And then on the contrary, kind of like you were mentioning earlier, it's like everything we do is like bitten, right? Like we never get a chance to just be great and get rewarded for being great genuinely, consistently on, platforms all across the globe, right? So that transitioned into I like moved back to Colorado a couple of years ago, and there's already been so much stuff that happens in the Springs. I just want people to know things like that movie The Black Klansman that happened in Colorado Springs. The culture here of conservative, all the conservativeness and white supremacy is alive, and people just think because it's beautiful, you can go hiking there, it's Olympic City, USA, everything is perfect. It's absolutely not. So I just got tired of it, and I'm just like, this is dumb. One of my friends was murdered by a white supremacist in 2016, Jesse Garcia. He happened to be the father of a sheriff or something, so he got off. Cool. Nothing ever happened. I'm like, this is whack. Cool. After that, Devon Bailey was murdered by CSPD for being a kid scared at a park running away, and it was justified, and the cops got off. So I'm just like, this is not okay. And more than just being vocal about it, I decided to really be myself artistically. I really struggled in the beginning trying to figure out like what my lane was, like doing pop art or trendy art, painting celebrities, etc., whatever the vibe was. And now more than ever, I know that my style is my voice. Whatever I feel is valid. I don't have to be an abstract artist or do realism or do contemporary art, whatever. I can be a fine artist and still make activism pieces and literally only paint and draw Black people because that's all I know, right? I'm doing what's familiar to me and expressing myself through my art. So that's how it kind of comes full circle. And I'm such an advocate for like making sure that we don't take our foot off their necks. Like we cannot like if we let up for just even a second and make it feel like we're comfortable in the status quo is okay. And no, we have a new president, so it's cool. It's not cool. It's not cool. This is baby steps, and we just need to keep going as people and keep fighting for what we believe in. So I just feel like that, as well as it's beautiful to see people and things that reflect you and look like you on a positive note. So I just also am always inspired to like get to know different people and like integrate that into my work and just continue to inspire people that inspire me. That's really like a goal of mine. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yes. Well, you are inspiring, obviously. All of that work for sure comes from inside, right? And when
Yeah.
you share that with the world, it can become draining. So I am grateful that you were willing to jump on this call. I know you were doing a bunch of stuff today, even. So
Yeah, so I'm a community advocate, right? So I do a lot of contracting work for the community. So I currently run a food pantry. I just believe, a whole tangent I'm about to go on, but I believe that we have so many resources, especially in the US, that nobody should be hungry, nobody should be homeless or houseless, excuse me. I just feel like it's ridiculous. So if I have the power or the knowledge or the time to help people eat for the week, I'm gonna do that. So we had a food distribution today where we distributed 10,000 pounds of food to the community. So I'm literally exhausted. I just
what? Wait, say that again. Say how much did you give?
10,000 pounds of food. Yeah. It was
Wow.
a lot of work, but and mind you, it's snowing. It's brick outside. It's snowing. I had frostbite for a second, but we survived. You know, it's just the will to. It's just the little things too. It's like the thank yous and the I literally don't know where I was going to eat this week, and you did not have to be here. Thank you for being outside in the freezing cold just to give me some food. And I'm like, you got it. Like, yes, I'm miserable, but at the same time, I'm so fulfilled. So yeah, I just left doing that and now I'm here. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you again.
Of course.
People are excited to hear. I don't know if excited is the right word, but are definitely curious to hear about your story in this particular situation.
Yeah.
And so, can you just start by telling us just a little bit, like, what happened? Because all I saw was your post that was like, "Hey, my art at Walmart."
Right. I'm gonna be so transparent. So basically, you know, on Instagram, you get like DMs from people you don't know. It goes into your request, right?
Right.
I'm not a great. Yes, I post on social media, but I'm not like on social media all day checking people's stuff, checking my messages. I don't really do that. So whatever. One day, I get this message from somebody in Florida that tagged me on a post like, oh my God, I finally got an Art by Rizzo piece. Shout out to you. And it was a picture of my Nipsey Hussle drawing, which, by the way, I'm just going to say a really quick story on that. When Nipsey passed away, I drew him because he's important to the culture. And also I just felt compelled to not to do anything where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to sell this, whatever. So I put it on my website and I gave it away for free, right? As a digital download. Thousands of people downloaded it. Okay. So lots of people have this work, right? This is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets tricky. So basically that was 2 years ago. Okay.
Wow. Right.
So we're going to fast forward like a year and some change. Somebody DM'd me and I didn't know what to do. I was just like, okay, cool. I was like, can you send me the receipt that you bought it? Where'd you buy it from? She's like, Walmart on this street, this place. Here's the receipt. Here's the barcode. Sent me all the tea. I'm like, bet. Right. I'm sitting on the info because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I start doing research. I'm like, whatever. But life is still going on, you know? Last week, whenever I posted that, I look at my requests, dozens of people tagging me in Walmart stuff. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was maybe just like, because I understand even in Colorado, we have our distribution centers, but they don't always coincide. Like what you can get at one Walmart, you can get at a different Walmart, vice versa. So I was just like, all right, whatever. It's one Walmart in Florida. Who cares? So it's like a person from Georgia and a person from Alabama and a person from Tampa and a person from Orlando. And I'm like, holy I was like, yo, this is crazy. So one of the guys that posted it was like, yo, congrats on your collab, blah, 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 blah. That's when I reposted it on my Insta story. Like, I guess I should tell y'all, these people stole my art. Like, I don't know what to do about it. Of course, you can Google things, right? But the problem with the internet is, yes, we have unlimited resources, but the problem is we have unlimited resources. So I'm looking it up and it's like, well, if you don't have a copyright, you're screwed. And then it's like, well, you posted it on the internet. It's free game. But then it's like, no, you're an artist. You have your intellectual property. And I'm like, 50, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't, you know, I kind of went to school for a little bit for pre-law. I didn't finish my degree, whatever. But I'm like, I don't know what's right and what's wrong. Yeah, I drew something. Yeah, it was for the love. I have made no profit on any Nipsey Hussle stuff I've ever given away, sold, anything. So I'm just like flabbergasted, right? So I post that, it goes crazy because his people, whoever, he's an artist from the South, whoever his network is, multiple people from his network already have bought that canvas over the last year. So I don't even know when it went into distribution. I don't know how long it's been. I don't know anything. All I know is random people are DMing me like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I want to compensate you. I want to donate to you. How can we help you? Do you have a lawyer? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like so overwhelmed because I'm like, yo, you know me, social media though. I'm like, y'all need to tag Walmart. I'm like, I don't know. Let's tag Walmart. Drop me resources. What can I do? Because I'm like, at the end of the day, it's some people are like, oh my God, you made it. Congrats. And I'm like, did I? I didn't get a collaboration. I didn't get any licensing. I didn't get any residuals. I did not get a lump sum for them to do that. So did I make it? But at the same time, I understand like, cool, my name is more out there. So what happened was,
does the canvas show your tag?
yes. So
No.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you what, these people, the reason I told you the part about me give away the free digital downloads is because I was like, oh my God, I'm screwed. I uploaded high quality work to my website for free and gave it away for free. Oh my God. I went and looked at the print. I posted on Twitter this photo that they stole from me and edited, that yellow background that is on the, I did not draw Nipsey with a yellow background. It was white. And also I signed my work, etc. They edited out my signature and I had a watermark on the top and the bottom, but I was being obnoxious because something in my soul told me, watermark the hell out of this. I had 5 watermarks on the one I posted on Twitter. Okay. Wow. One in his hair, one on his shirt, one above, one below, one to like the left or the right. I have the original image somewhere. They edited all of them out, but could not get the one out of his hair. So I think that they weren't like, it wasn't an artist that was editing it to know how to just like redraw his hair and remove my name. So the work that they're selling has my watermark on it. It literally says at Art by Rizzo. It does not have my signature. It does not have anything else in his hair. It literally says Art by Rizzo on his head. Like, so that's how people kept tagging me, because it has my at name. And I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't copyright my work, which is true. I did not. Cool. I posted on the internet, but that's proof that it's my work. It's my watermark. I have the original image I watermarked, which shows that they edited it. I have the original, my iPad Pro that I drew it on. I have all the receipts that that's my work. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm not saying that, I don't know, again, what the dollar amount is. I don't know what the thing is, but they owe me some credit. They owe me something at this point. And it's not just me. So now I'm like back to my activism thing, right? I'm like, nah, I'm sick of this. It's not just going to be me, and it's not going to be anybody else going forward. Like, what do we need to do to make sure that people get their due? Because if I didn't watermark that obnoxiously and they didn't find it on the internet, and if they would have just clicked on the link and went to my website, they could have had the original image,
the clean one,
and I would have never known, because they would have edited my signature off of it. I would have, because I did not watermark the original one.
Wow.
It only had my signature, and it was on a white background. You can just white it out. That's easy. So if I would have never watermarked it obnoxiously, they would have never messed up to where people could tag me. So fast forward. Now, after that goes crazy, people are emailing me or sending me receipts that wish.com is selling my work too, with my watermark. So people have my
notorious. Wish is
yo, so people have my shirts with my watermark on them, and I'm like, this is wild. Like, I'm just so confused, but I also understand this is I call it culture vulture. Like, they're culture vultures. Like, they're gonna find whatever's cute, poppin', trending, right? And again, it's not just me. There's all this art that people buy in Walmart that costs $10, $15, $20, whatever. All this stuff. Do they have licensing for some of it? Sure. Do they have licensing for the majority of it? Probably not. And this is also regional, right? So from what I've tracked, my work is being sold in the South right now. Cool. What about everywhere else? What are the things that we don't know? Maybe somebody did edit my watermark off something and is making money off of it. There's so many levels to this. And I'm just like, this is the craziest thing ever. But again, I'm grateful that I was being obnoxious that day, because even to this day, I just happened to watermark that one. I cannot tell you. It was my intuition, I guess, just told me to do it. I don't do that. Like, I just post my image. I draw something and I post it online. And I learned my lesson, though. I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. And it took 2 years to come full circle. So it's just so.
Well, you know, I don't want to put you into another space of when you're able to take this into litigation, I believe is the term.
Mm-hmm.
So what is going to happen is this is just for information for people who have an opportunity to hear it right now. You know, I want to make sure your message is getting out that this happened to you. First of all, there's different processes that you may have already taken to actually protect your work.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we want to make sure that you stay within some boundaries of protection here. So
Yeah.
you did some due diligence actually, because it is your site, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have things in place to show that is yours, your work. And so don't, you know, I know we can all become internet lawyers and internet doctors, so we don't know these things, you know. Right. We don't know that's how you're feeling, like you, oh man, I didn't do da 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 da, but you did, and so we definitely want to make sure to protect you. So
that's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, so I am again grateful for you sharing your story, and I want to know, like, how are you feeling now? How are you feeling?
I guess I'm not pressed. I know this sounds weird. I just have this, again, feeling that, like, whatever is going to work out from this is going to be beneficial to me regardless, because, like, I worked for this. Like, I'm not saying I worked to get my work stolen, but all of the other things that I've put into this universe that were, like, great things, and I do genuinely with a good heart, and that fulfill me and fulfill other people, like, it's gonna come full circle. So even if this does maybe open me up for collaboration with another company, now that they, you know, my name is out there, cool. If I get a couple dollars, that's cool. And I can tell now that, like, a lot more people just know who I am and know my work, which building my client base is always a good thing. So I just feel I'm okay. Like, I feel like regardless of what happens, even if they just send a cease and desist and then they just stop selling it and I never get a penny, that's okay. Because at least I know. Well, it is.
I know internally, right? That's what we say, right? Internally, right. I just want to be at peace with this.
Right.
You're going to put that out there?
No, but that's how I'm feeling. I'm just very, like,
yeah.
The first day I was tripping. I'm like, what the y'all owe me? Run me my bag. Like, run me my bag. Exactly. I'm like, it is what it is. It's cool.
And I think that's part of, like, a trauma response too, because you feel like outrage is expected. Your initial reaction is absolutely expected. Right. What they did is wrong, and they know that. In fact, the system came up with copyrights in the first place.
Right.
They came up with that whole system because they know how valuable. They've created a system to monetize off of ideas. Right. So instead of what you were offering, which was an opportunity to heal a community and express yourself, right. You know, it is wrong. And so, you know, that's why there's other platforms that have collaborated with artists. Canva is one. I've seen even, I believe it is Forever 21.
Yeah.
They are figuring out how they need to partner with the movers and shakers of the culture, which is essentially Black people. So, you know, and Black art and Black culture and influence definitely is pervasive throughout almost every aspect, from food to fashion, beauty, obviously, art, music embedded in that art, education, you know, inspiration, all of those things. People, it is on the corporation's job to figure out how to come to you and come correct, and stop acting that as though just because they have more money, they can just overlook the obligations they have to credit Black art and compensate Black time and art. But the response that you gave, which is like forgiveness, essentially, I think speaks to your character and overall. Because how are you going to function? Like, that's the thing. You can't function if you're angry all the time. Right. Or you could function, but it's not going to be at your fullest potential and to the results that you really want and the things that you care about. 10,000 pounds of food being given to the community, right? That's what you care about.
Right.
Imagine your artwork could have been the money raised could have sponsored that, you know,
Absolutely.
and it just, and sponsored you, so you don't have to do all these things at the same time.
Facts. I could take a vacation every now and then, you know, just a little something.
That's why, yes, it's called sabbaticals, girl, and people get them for a reason.
Yeah.
Life is hard, and we're in a
Yeah.
pandemic even more.
Literally.
But you know, I really appreciate you sharing this story. And do you have any advice for future artists? Because I know my younger brother is an artist. I've done some work. I've paid him to do collaborations with Curls on the Block and made those into different pieces, you know, for the t-shirts and for the, because I can't draw, you know, I'm not drawing or singing, but I can definitely engage people in a conversation. But he's very hesitant to post his stuff. He's like, Annalise, they're stealing stuff, you know. They're stealing, even with watermarks. And I was like, no, put your work on. And I was like, ooh. Well, he was right. But what would you say to him, you know, where you're at right now? Obviously you have a journey still with that, but what would you encourage other artists to do?
I first want to thank you. You're absolutely right. I'm glad that I'm in a place where I'm like, cool, it's level-headed, but at the same time, like, we deserve everything that we've worked for, including myself. You know, the fact that they are $1 billion corporation, they can cut me a couple dollars for stealing my stuff and making money off me. So I feel you. I think I actually probably retract what I just said about what I'm going to post online. Of course, I'm going to share my work because that's me, right? Kind of like I mentioned before, like, it's my voice without saying a word, right? And also it fulfills me. Like, I like that my work can be reposted multiple places and people connect to it and all of that good stuff. I just think being mindful of things is like my biggest takeaway out of all this. So I'm not saying don't post your work without a watermark. You can post whatever you want, but be intentional about it. So am I going to post the high quality original image on the internet ever again? Absolutely not. There are ways that you can post it in like a JPEG or like lower the quality and post it on the internet. So even if they do save the image off the internet, it looks really pixelated. So they can still enjoy your work by seeing it. But if they try to reproduce it, then it's not going to be of value. And that's amongst like above and beyond watermarking, right? And then aside from that, I would just say, like, again, what's meant for you is going to be for you. Like, you can't be scared to like post stuff because you really may reach somebody that you never knew was watching you. And also you may get an opportunity that you never understood was available just because somebody saw you post something online. I will say that came full circle for me because a lot of the things I'm doing now is because people saw me being an activist this summer and like XYZ. So they're like, okay, she's a person, she has a personality, she has character, etc. Because we can post things online, but our social media is still a reflection of who we are. I don't care if you're a brand, you're a business, you're whatever. Your brand is still a reflection of something that stands for something. So I just think sharing a piece of that is so valuable and will get you so much more in the end than you'll ever lose. And I also don't think there's a such thing as losing. Like, I just feel like everything is a lesson. So if you're learning something from it, then you're doing well. So I would just say, jump out on a limb, take a leap of faith and post it. Just try, if you're scared about somebody, you know, stealing your work, then make sure you're posting it in a low quality image, watermarking it, maybe copyright it before you even post it, if that really is going to give you a sense of security. Because then for sure, like, nobody can ever tell you anything because you have the paperwork to show that it is your image, period. Even though, again, we have intellectual property laws, but nevertheless, yeah, I would just say, be encouraged to share yourself with the world, because you never know what the universe may be, you know, calling to you, or what you may be calling to the universe. So
yes, and we're gonna call into the universe reparations for you, and
no reparations for us, because if I eat, we all eat.
You're right. Yes. And restitution for your situation. Absolutely. To, you know, and, you know, just for people to feel bad, like, don't do this. That's what we're going to go. You can't even do it. You feel bad copying. Because I've seen it also where people we kind of joke, I think, on even social media, people saying something on like one social media platform that they saw on a different one and trying to make it like their own. So even from witty sayings and things like that, people are mad. They're like, man, I said that. And even I've fallen into that briefly. I'm like, man, I said that like 2 weeks ago. Now someone else is like taking it. But there's also, just great minds think alike, sure. But when it comes down to certain things, we need to be recognized, compensated, and folks need to be reprimanded with severe consequences for stealing our work, our ideas, So again, thank you for sharing your time and your story. I definitely want to make sure that if there are some folks who are experts, I would love for them to, share this and share their thoughts and offer legal counsel. And I know that you have been on this journey towards, litigation. And so definitely looking for all the support for you to get this exposure that this was this happened to you and is currently in this space. And so shout out to anybody who wants to support this cause. And I posted your Facebook page, but I think you have a website too, though, right?
Yes, so artbyrizzo.com. Everything is Art by Rizzo. And just a really quick thing, if anybody watching this does have advice, I'm still looking for attaining legal representation. I've done some inquiries and going through some processes, but I don't have an actual attorney. So if anybody has a plug, has some advice, feel free to email me, artbyrizzo@gmail.com. There's also a contact thing on my website. You can DM me on Instagram. Everything is Art by Rizzo. Please help your girl out, because I'm, again, just trying to navigate these spaces of the unknown and take the proper steps. So
yeah, definitely. And, we'll just keep pushing it and make sure that we get you that support to continue on your journey. And so if I still just am in shock, because I'm like, wow, they really took her stuff. They really took your stuff.
I'm shook they put it on that ugly high yellow background. It's hideous, but
it's attractive because it's yellow. So I think
but it's like a neon green yellow. It don't even. It's not in the vibe. It's not the vibe. Like
in person,
yellow like this. Cool. It's like highlighter neon green yellow.
Then no, they took away from the energy. They also changed it, so the intention, all of that is taken out. So
I'm offended. You're right. I need a couple more dollars for that. I'm offended.
Yeah. They ruined it.
They changed the vibe. They did.
So thank you for your words. I don't want to take up more of your time, but stay warm, okay?
Thank you.
You need your fingers to continue.
I do. They're okay now.
Okay, good. Stay warm. Yeah. So, and then also, if anybody wants to support what I would say is artivism that you're doing as well, definitely reaching out to you. You have stuff available on your Instagram, Facebook, on your website, and it's just imperative that we continue to support, Black art and highlight the Black tax. That's what this is about. Black tax on your psyche, on your art, on your experiences, and it could really deter people in the future. So I'm glad that you're still pushing forward. And again, thank you for your work to combat white supremacy and injustice in the world, but also specifically in Colorado Springs, which is historically really racist and has a lot of growth and repair to do for the with the Black community.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, thank you, and have a good weekend.
Thank you for the platform. Again, thank you for everything you do. You're amazing. We will talk soon.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, as I like to say, stay curly.
Peace.